We are absolutely thrilled to have Jessica Breland join our Fever team. She's somebody that I think has been respected and admired for her versatility and her professionalism by everybody throughout the league. Like, she's just known as one of those rock solid people that brings a lot to the table. So as a coach, I really appreciate the fact that Jess is versatile, that she's got the experience that we were looking for to round out our frontline group of players. I think people recognize that versatility on the offensive end probably more readily than the defensive end, but I'm here to tell you that we really appreciate her defense and her rebounding as well. And those were areas where we felt like we really needed to improve as a team. So the fact that we could acquire somebody with Jess's versatility and defense and rebounding and experience all in one package, like, we're just absolutely thrilled that she's joining us, and that I know she's going to have a big impact immediately. And on top of that, one of the nicest players you could ever meet, and a true pro's pro. So I just wanted to welcome Jess again, and we're really excited to have her here.
Awesome. Jessica, any open remarks to say?
Well, thank you, Coach. That means a lot.
Sure.
All that you said. I'm just so honored and excited to be playing for the WNBA legend, Tamika Catchings. And I'm grateful, for Coach Stanley for having me, and, the president, Dr. Barber, for this opportunity that I'm given to come back to Indiana. Like, I'm so psyched. I'm so excited.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. We can go to questions now. If anybody has a question for Jessica, you can raise your hand, or you can send me a note in the chat, and we'll get to everybody's as quick as possible. Zach, do you want to start off? You have a question for Jessica and kick us off?
Yep. Hi, Jessica. Welcome to Indiana. I guess first, just why come back to the Fever? What intrigued you about being a Indiana Fever again?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, my number one answer would be Catch, right? I remember playing with her, and I remember all the values and the hard work and the effort that she put in and day out. That's who I strive to be every day when I get on the court. And I remember how much I grew when I was there, with her, and then a team that she had there. And just having another opportunity when she called me, I was just like, man, I mean, she's a legend and she's a leader, and just the things that she envisions for the Fever, it aligns with who I am as a person, the leader that I want to become. And hence why I, picked up an internship under Kara Lawson, because, you can't pass on great leadership when people, like her and Catch, that are out here developing people and changing the game and making room for, women like, myself to just come in. I had to be there. And then also the team, like, we're just a young team who have a lot of talent. Heard a lot of great things about Coach Stanley from Ivory Ladder and Latoya Pringle. I played with them in college. I've heard great things about her, and I'm ready to get out there with her and develop as a person. I'm ready to grow. And I'm ready to also help other people grow as well with the younger players.
What do you remember, and what are your memories of playing back here and of the arena in 2013 and just your time here?
The fans, right? The fans, Baker Field is just, the facility is just awesome. And I heard great things about the renovation that's being done now. The fans. I can remember this one guy. I can't remember his name. He's gonna kill me when he hears this, but he wears the helmet, the firefighter helmet. You probably know exactly who I'm talking about. Just great people. They're just overall just love the sport, just love women's basketball. They love the FIBA organization, but just the support that they gave me, when I left, just coming back, just seeing the fans, I'm looking forward to it. If they gave me that support playing on another team, I know how I just can only imagine the energy that's going to be in the arena, with me back there. So
I guess the last one for me, Ryan, just how excited are you to get back on the court for this upcoming season?
I'm super excited. It was a tough decision for me to make when last season when I decided to sit out. And it's one of the hardest things to do to watch basketball. You know, when you're active, when you're an athlete, you're a player. You know, I sat back and I watched it, and it was very similar to an injury. Like I felt like I was injured and I was out, and now have an opportunity to come back and play. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get back out there. I've learned a lot being under Kara Lawson, and I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life being, you know, running behind 20-year-olds at Duke. But yeah, I'm super excited about it.
Pat Boylan.
Hi, Jessica. When you were making this decision, how much did you recall back toward your relationships with Tamika back in 2013 as a teammate? And then just kind of as a part two, how do you feel like you fit with?
I think you're buttoning out there again, Pat.
Sorry, do you guys have me here?
You're kind of going in now. From what I gathered, the first one about the relationship that Jessica gathered with Tamika whenever she played back in 2013. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. We can start that one, Jessica.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so Catch, you guys know her. She's very welcoming, you know, very kind-hearted individual. And when I was playing there as her teammate, she would have us over to her home, and we would have like kind of like chapel there and just team meetings, and we just really open up. You know, she provided a space where I can be very vulnerable and grow as a person. And you know, you can go to her about anything. You know, I remember times of her, you know, her telling me to, you know, just to relax and just be myself and play. You know, don't have too much stress on me and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's just, I feel like when you have someone that understands the game like that, that's in, you know, the front office, as you know, especially like as a GM, it's easier to play for that person because they can connect with you better. You know, they can understand you on a different level. And I think that's what Catch brings to the organization, is really understanding the WNBA for one, the organization, and also the players, you know, on the other hand.
Pat, are you there? You want to try again that second question? I think you just got off and got back on, but I'll ask one, Jessica, just in the meantime until Pat gets the audio figured out. What have you taken away in your time at Duke under Coach Lawson and since taking that job?
Oh, a lot, right? I would say just like she breaks down the game in a way that's just like, sometimes I'm in her office and I'm just at awe of her, you know, like she's just, the way she sees it and the way she breaks it down, and even the way she coaches it to the players. You know, I don't know if she ever noticed that I'm just like staring at her like, man, how did you even, like, that makes sense? Like, how did you explain that way? And just, I remember her talking to me about the way that she prepared each season going into the WNBA, you know, pushing yourself to your break every time, and how hard it is to do that as a player. You know, you want to, you know, your body say, okay, that's it, but you actually have a lot more to give. And she brings that into practice every day. You know, she pushes us and, you know, her team to the max to really get everything out of you, instead of waiting to the game to feel that exhaustion. She feels that, you know, if you feel it beforehand, and you can really, you know, maximize the game, you know, like you're not fatigued mentally when you're in a game, because you've been there and done that in practice.
I guess, you know, just for everybody else to get the idea, is coaching what you anticipate the next move when the playing career is finally over? Is that the end goal maybe?
I don't know. The WNBA provided this awesome internship that allows you to, you know, pick, you know, whatever career path that you would like. And I chose Duke. You know, I chose actually the director of operation position to really see what would life, you know, after basketball be like for me. And I don't know. What I have to say about coaches is I will hug each and every coach that I ever come encounter with, because all of the stuff and all of the hours they put in, it's mind blowing. Like, it's just like, wow, did you really do that? Like, I tried to, I was putting together a scout report, helping out Coach Beth a couple of times, and the hours that you just put in and the time and the effort, you know, they're pouring their soul, their everything into it. I mean, as a player, you know that it takes coaches hours to do these things, but you don't understand the heaviness of it until you really do it. So I don't know if I would really coach, you know, I want to coach after basketball. I just want to be prepared if the door is open for that, and just know that and understand what it takes and be able to be my best self.
Awesome. Pat, want to try again here?
Yeah. Hi, Jessica. Sorry about that. What's been your perspective watching this Fever team and this build the last couple of years? And where do you think your fit is within the group that will be coming back?
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. What's been your perspective watching the Fever a little bit from afar the last couple of years as they've been building the post-Tamika Catchings era, and where do you feel like you can fit in with that group and help the most?
I mean, they have a lot of energy, you know, their passion, you know, they're very passionate, they have a lot of energy, young players that just really just need leadership, you know, need, and I think you already have that with, you know, the coaches, and you have that with Tamika and then the president and stuff, but you need to have someone that's there in the locker room, on the court, someone that's going to go to battle with them, and they can understand that, hey, you know, like what is being said, or, you know, what you see in them is you're really trying to just grow them and not, you know, do anything else outside of that. And sometimes that can get lost. And if you find somebody, you find good leadership that will go out there and battle for and with people, with teammates, then you find a different result. But they have everything else, you know, like the passion, like I said, they have the talent, and we have the talent, we have the passion, you know, so it's there.
Thanks, Pat. Anybody have anything else for Jessica? Okay, we'll go over any questions for Coach Stanley. Zach, do you want to start us off again?
Yeah, Coach. I mean, you kind of touched on it in your opening statement, but just now hearing from Jessica and how excited she is to come back to Indiana, how excited are you to have her as a part of this team, and how big of an addition is she for this young group?
Well, I think she's a huge addition because, you know, Jessica has been here. I'm anxious for her to see the changes since she was here. I mean, 2013, that's quite a while ago. I mean, it's not that long ago, but it feels like, you know, that many years, you're like, okay, some things have changed. You're gonna really like what you see. But in terms of the team, I think, you know, she brings a perspective, and you just heard some of it, that, you know, experience matters in this league. It really, really does. And she brings a heavy dose of experience at a really high level to the table that can serve as not just a role model, but like show the path to some of the younger players that are trying to find their way and maximize their talent. Like, she's been there, she understands it. It hasn't always been easy. There's been ups and downs and everything in between, but she's somebody who has demonstrated an ability to navigate the league at a very, very high level. And I think if you go back, you know, obviously last year was, you know, an opt-out year, and I perfectly understand that. You go back to her previous 2 seasons in Atlanta, she had 2 really, really good years and was very effective. Is one of the few players, you know, who lead in rebounds and shot blocks in the league. And, you know, that's an underappreciated part, I think, of Jessica's game, because she's just so smooth and fluid offensively that, you know, I'm saying, man, I value so many things about her. Like, I can see lots of places in our lineup where she can have an impact and help our younger players to grow and improve and understand how to be effective in the league. Like, she has enough experience, 8 years worth of experience, that it just lends a whole different level to what she can be as a teammate for her teammates.
Zach, Pat, anything for Coach?
Sure. Coach, can you just kind of touch on the roster that you're starting to build now as a whole? Because it seems like you guys have been able to accomplish both bringing in some experience and a lot of leadership, but also players that are still very much capable of contributing on the floor this season. Would you agree with that? And what's the dynamic that can bring in to a team that has been younger, but obviously looking to achieve bigger goals this year?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the well-roundedness of the people that we've brought in is really important. They're leaders on and off the floor, and Jessica, again, being the example here today, someone who has the experience of being successful in this league, and at the same time, not compromising the values, the culture, the most important part of being a team is being a great teammate and doing the work that's required to excel and do it at a very high level. She gets that and does it willingly. That's what you want. You want people who truly understand what it's about, because from the outside, it might look like one thing, but I'm sure Jess could tell you, it's, you got to do the work, and you don't do it alone. You do it with your teammates, and, everybody's got to be on the same page and all, in concert working towards the same goals. And that takes a very special individual and a special talent, and Jess is certainly one of those. And the other players that we've brought in, I think, are similarly suited to this situation. I think to a person, each one of them has talked about culture and leadership and having a great locker room and working with their teammates to achieve the goals that we set. That's what you want from the people who have the demonstrated experience and have done it. They've all done it.
Marianne, I'll ask you one here. Going back to Jessica's first coaching job here, being involved with the staff for the first time, what do you remember about the first time that you went over to the coaching ranks? I know you started a little earlier than Jessica, but what do you remember about that first time walking in and being a part of the staff as opposed to walking in as a player?
Oh, that's a really good question. I was quite young, like Jess, and I just appreciate that Jessica has put herself in this position. I'm sure, and you heard her say, "I'm waiting for that hug, Jess." Like, that's like number one. You said a hug, so I'm gonna expect the hug. But I think it takes getting on the other side of things for players to understand just how much work is involved. They're doing the physical labor of going through practice and lifting weights and the physical part of being an elite athlete, but there's a mental part and a preparation part that coaches are just as ardently and passionately invested in for their team. Like, our job is to make each and every player better. I'm sure Jess has a newfound appreciation of exactly what that looks like. And just like I shared with her, when I lived in Russia for 3 winters and did the exact same thing that the players do, I had a newfound appreciation of just how hard it is to play year-round basketball, to go through from one season to the next. And it gave me a different lens through which to look at the players and say, okay, I understand that experience. I know what it means to come from that. So, I think for Jess, being a young person, this is great. And I'm sure it will inform everything she's going to do in practice and, watching film and everything else. So that's great. That just adds another layer of experience to her that is so valuable.